From the main course to dessert, we're here to help you create the perfect Passover meal.
And we're going to show you everything you need to do it, and with everything you need to know is personal chef Bill Collins. Bill, it's a pleasure, or should we say mazel tov?
Well, you know,
Mazel tov.
that's more of a congratulatory thing for an event, but I'll accept it, yes.
Well, mazel tov on your tasty treats so far.
Right,
so
thank you.
We're making matza balls, is that correct?
Yes, matza balls, which go into matza ball soup, traditionally a chicken soup, and usually when you think of chicken soup, like when you're sick and it cures you, it's got a lot of stuff in it. But traditionally with a matza ball soup, it's usually just the broth, maybe a little bit of chicken, just a little bit of vegetables, but the star of this dish is the matza ball.
Is the matza ball.
Now, I noticed that you have them boiling, but you have them boiling separately. It doesn't look like the soup's going to come in the same pot.
Exactly. The reason you want to do that is, and actually, let me show you here. This is a matza ball that has not yet been cooked up first. It takes about a half an hour. And see how much smaller it is. That's absorbing all that water to get nice and light and fluffy. Now, you can do it in your chicken stock, but if you do it in the chicken, I'm going to let go. Hope you don't go at the same time.
I'll hold it for you.
Okay, no, I was going to put it over here.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to crash.
No, we don't want that.
Awkward plate handling.
It's very important. If you do it in your chicken stock, it'll give it more of a chickeny flavor, which is fine. Just make sure that you have enough to serve with your soup. That's why it's fine to do this in the boiling water and then serve it with the soup afterwards. So that's really why I do this up separately. Also, you can do these a day or two ahead of time and then just gently reheat them, either in water or as your soup is heating before the Seder meal or any meal. You can just drop the matzo balls in just to quickly get warm.
I wonder if you can freeze those.
I've never tried it. I hear you can, but I haven't tried it. I don't see why not, but it could affect the texture, but I haven't done that.
They're pretty easy to make, though. I feel like it's something that everyone can do.
They can do it, and there's so many matzo ball mixes out there, and pretty much the matzo ball mixes are the same ingredients as what you do from scratch. You've got a matzah meal. Here's a package of one, but that's the matzah meal. It looks like flour. Eggs, but you don't need all of those eggs. Just about 4 eggs. Sparkling water.
Sparkling water?
Yep. Or you can use, in the recipe we're doing today, you can use either sparkling water, you can use stock, you can use water. I like using the sparkling water. I sometimes give it just a little bit more of a little oomph to it.
A little oomph. Everyone likes a little oomph in their meal.
A little oomph is always perfect. And in this case, and then just a little salt and pepper, and that's it. And so all you do is you mix together the ingredients and you refrigerate them. If you only have 10 or 15 minutes, refrigerate that. You can do it overnight or a number of hours. And then when the time comes, just get your hands wet, because otherwise they'll be sticky. You roll them into just about golf ball or a little smaller than golf ball type sizes. Yep. And that's the size. And then when the matzo ball is done, see, you can see the difference in size right there, and that's because it's absorbed all of that water.
So here's the different size right here. There it is.
And you can also see it's darker because that's got the egg, which kind of helps give it that color, and it just lightens up, and then you've got your traditional looking matzo ball. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. And a lot of people use mixes because they're afraid that, oh, it's going to end up lead-like. It won't. It's nice and light and fluffy. The secret is just mixing it up and let it sit for a little bit, and then boiling it up. Make sure you have enough water. You don't want to do it in a shallow pan. This is way too much water, but I got overly excited.
Yeah, nothing better to do. You might as well boil up extra water.
Exactly. And they take about half an hour, and they're good to go. So.
And then when they're done, you put them into the chicken broth. Now, is this the broth?
Yep, I've got some right here.
Okay.
No, that's fine. I'm just going to move this right over here.
All right.
Do you do anything special, or is it simply that, just chicken broth?
Well, in this case, I did make a chicken soup. So what I do is I took some chicken breast or chicken thighs, whichever you prefer, a little onion, celery, carrots, and cooked it up. Then I took all of that out, and then I just cooked up a little more carrot and onion and celery, rather, just to put in to have with the soup. But you don't need that much. Now, I'm going to put some in a bowl for you. I'm going to show you the secret.
Do you want me to hand you this bowl?
Thank you. And I'm taking it now. We're not letting go at the same time.
No, exactly.
And here's the thing. Often when you ladle out soup, you see how it's all dripping down like that? Here's the secret nobody ever tells you. When you take it and ladle out, just touch the bottom of the ladle to the top of the surface, and it won't drip all over the place.
That's brilliant.
So I didn't know that.
They don't even teach that in
book.
You know, I should. and so that way you just spoon some out.
Can I try that? Because
sure.
I'm forever dropping.
Get in there, Seth.
And so pull it out, and you see how it's pouring all over the place?
It's a mess.
And then
dip
just
it down.
Dip it down. And then you go.
Wow.
Isn't that the greatest trick in the world?
That just made my week, I think.
Then I'm glad I can help you do that.
Thank you, Bill.
And it's only Tuesday, and his week is made.
That's right. So
I hope nothing better happens this week.
Me too, because that's as good as it gets. And then put 1 or 2 matzo balls in.
Do you want to let it cook a little bit in the broth to absorb a little bit more broth? Or
you could do that. It's strictly whatever you prefer. And there isn't a right or wrong way to do it, but sure, we can drop those in. And especially if I had made these earlier and refrigerated them, then I definitely would drop them into the broth just to warm them up a bit. And it's really that simple. And you know, you talk about a meal from soup to nuts. You start with the
From soup to balls, though. Now we got it.
Well, this is true. So what you do is you start out with the matzo ball soup, and then you finish up. You know, you go through the meal. But this is the great way as the Seder meal, or really any meal, but the Seder meal traditionally, you start out when you take the break, and you halfway through, and you start the soup. Matza ball soup is what everybody on the planet does.
Well, it smells great. I cannot wait to dig
Thank
in
you.
a little
Easy
bit.
and delicious. Who doesn't love that?
It's perfect. Absolutely love
But we're not even done with you yet, right?
No, we got more stuff to do.
All right, good. Don't go anywhere. There's more stuff with Bill a little bit later in the show. Chocolate macaroons.